I have a lot of bloggers following my Life in 360 YouTube channel, and a question I often get is, Ben, which camera do you shoot your tutorials with? And up to this point, I've been shooting on the Canon 6D, which has been a good, cheap DSLR camera that shoots full HD. You can get a shallow depth of field, and it's really allowed me to produce really professional videos for my YouTube channel very quickly and easily. However, last week I got myself a new camera, and that camera is the Sony a7R II. And this is a camera I would strongly recommend if you have a bit of money to play with, because I know it's going to be an awesome blogging camera for me in the future and fix so many issues I had with my 6D. Yes, you do see polished, nice looking videos whenever I upload them to YouTube. However, that's a result of doing 10 takes, getting the focus wrong, getting the exposure wrong, having so many issues to deal with, and then finally coming up with something that looks nice. Whereas the Sony a7R II does it all for you. So in this video, I'll talk about a few different cameras you might want to consider using if you want to take vlogging seriously. And I'll start with the Sony a7R II, which is my new camera. There we go, I've got it set up on my table, and I'm using my iPad Pro as a video split. So I can literally look at myself back as I'm doing the tutorial, which is quite cool. On a huge screen too, really implements the size of that iPad Pro really well. So the a7R II retails for about $3,000. It is not a cheap camera, but something that I've always preached with 360 cameras is the more you invest, the better a result you will get. If you pay more money, all of your problems will be solved. If you pay $100, you're going to inherit hundreds of problems with the camera, but that's fair enough because you're only paying $100. So if you invest in a camera like the a7R II, filmmaking is very easy, blogging is very easy. So the biggest issue I had with my 6D, which I'm going to be getting rid of very soon, is that I would go out of focus so damn much. Hey guys, this is Ben from Life in 360. So guys, this is Ben from Life in 360. What's up, you 360 freaks, you? When you're shooting yourself all the time, there's no one behind the camera seeing if you're in focus or not and pulling the focus. There's no one touching the lens. You've just got to hope for the best. What I used to do was line up my mark. So I'd set up my camera roughly where it is now, and with my desk chair here, I would zoom down to this little point of the chair and make sure that's in focus, and then I'd try and make sure I'm always staying in line with the chair. Often when you move around in video blogs, and you go out of focus very easily when the focus is fixed. I would say the best feature of the Sony a7R II is it has continuous autofocus for video. So I can move close and the focus follows me. Closer, closer, closer. There's no one behind the camera, yet the lens is refocusing to my movements. Move back, I'm in focus again. That's pretty cool because as a blogger, if you can get a shallow depth of field, it just has that professional element to it. Everyone loves a nice, juicy, shallow depth of field and having nice bokeh in the background if you can. Bokeh, whatever. It makes you come across as much more of a professional. I remember I literally shot one video blog. It would have been about 10 minutes long. And when I went to review it on my 6D, the whole thing was out of focus. I was a complete blur the whole time. And it was an amazing video blog too. I made some amazing points and it all went to waste. It was literally unusable because it was out of focus. There's nothing you can do. People aren't going to look at you if you're out of focus. It's also got auto exposure for video. That's also been a big issue for me as well. The room I shoot in has high contrast, so whenever the clouds change outside, either the highlights get too strong or the shadows get too dark. So having the camera make adjustments on your behalf is such a handy thing, and it means you don't have crappy looking footage. Also, the stills on the Sony a7R II are amazing. They're 42 megapixels, ridiculously big. There are so many amazing features. I won't go into them because this isn't a review of the Sony a7R II. I just want to share some blogging tips with you guys because investing in a good camera will really get you noticed online if you're making videos of your own. And yes, you should invest money in 360 cameras, definitely, but you also need to invest in traditional video as well. So the Sony a7R II is going to be one of the top tier blogging cameras you might want to invest in. If you don't have as much money to play with, $3,000 is not a small amount of money. You might want to consider a camera like the 6D. Look, it's been good for me over the last few years. I've shot my past 55 YouTube videos using the 6D. It's only about $1,000 now, I think. You'll want to pair it with a lens like the Sigma 50mm 1.4 Or if you're really cheap, you can go for the Canon 50mm 1.8, which is like $100. This is about $400 for this lens, but essentially that's like $1,500 for a really good professional setup. Finally, in the very lowest tier, if you're looking for a good blogging camera, are smartphones. So smartphones these days shoot a minimum of high definition. A lot of them shoot 4K, both iPhone and Android shoot 4K, but you can get an amazing little video tutorial or video blog or any kind of video you want. If you just set up your camera with nice lighting, you implement the shallow depth of field and just try a few different techniques with the manual settings. You can download an app for a few dollars that will help you get full manual control over your smartphone. I actually have shot 1 or 2 tutorials with these, and look, they've turned out great. I don't think anyone even noticed that they were shot on a smartphone because they look so damn good. So don't be afraid to use a smartphone because it gives you a really good basic result. And look, they're tiny, they can fit in your pocket, so they're ultra portable. That's something that they have over any kind of DSLR or mirrorless camera. So ultimately it does depend on your price range, but if you can invest a little bit more money, you're going to get a result that some companies would pay videographers thousands upon thousands of dollars to produce absolutely for free. If you know how to shoot good video, you can produce professional content for yourself. Honestly, I used to work as a videographer and companies would pay me thousands and thousands of dollars to produce professional video content with a $1,500 camera that I bought and just knew how to use really well. And now the cool thing is I get to produce content for myself for free that matches the professional look of what I was doing for clients. I'm really looking forward to using my Sony a7R II. It's got so many amazing features that I know are going to really transform my YouTube channel and all of the videos I shoot in non-360. And it's going to really help me show you guys 360 even better because there'll be less work overall in the workflow. Alright, so I'll put links in the description for all of the cameras that I mentioned. So if you're thinking about upgrading your camera, feel free to shoot me a question. I know quite a bit about DSLR cameras, traditional video cameras as well, not just 360 cameras. I did start from a filmmaking and video production background, so yeah, I've played with lots and lots of cameras from many different brands, not just 360 cameras. Be happy to help out if I can. Also feel free to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube and Twitter for more daily madness. Alright guys, see you in the next video.